Dear grade 10 students, welcome back to our revision for the mid of the first semester on Units 1 and 2. In this part, we will go to the grammar section. We will start with the past forms. We will discuss today the past simple and the past continuous, the past perfect and the past perfect continuous. Past simple. The form of the past simple in the statements, we use the second form of the verb. In the negative sentences, we use didn't plus the verb in the infinitive. And for yes-no questions, we use the helping verb did at the beginning of the sentence. For regular verbs, we add the endings ed, d, or ied. For irregular verbs, we take the past form or in the second column, as you can see in the last page of your course books. The use of the past simple, the first use is that the past simple is used to express completed actions in the past. For example, I saw the new James Bond film yesterday. Or we can use the past simple for repeated actions in the past. For example, I went to the theater 4 times last month. Also, the past simple can be used to express general truth about the past. 50 years ago, people didn't spend as much on entertainment as they do today. Or, we use the past simple mainly for the main events in a story. Josh pushed the door open and looked inside the room. Helpful hints in the past simple. The past simple is often used with the following words and phrases, like the word yesterday, last week, last summer, last year, etc. Or in January, in 2001, etc. Or in an hour, a week, a year ago. Now we will move to the second form of past forms, which is the past continuous or the past progressive. The past continuous is formed using the words was or were plus verb plus ing. Was is used mainly with I, he, she, it, or any singular noun, while were is used with you, we, they, or any plural noun. The negative of the past continuous is using the words wasn't or weren't plus the verb plus ing. And for questions we start with words was or were plus subject plus the verb plus ing until the end of the question, and a question mark at the end of the question itself. The use of the past continuous. The first use of the past continuous is to talk about actions happening at a moment in the past. At 9 o'clock last night, I was watching TV. Or past continuous can be used to express 2 actions in progress in the same time or at the same time in the past. I was reading a book while you were doing the washing up. The past continuous is also can be used to express background information in a story. It was raining, so Wendy decided to go to the cinema. Helpful hints. The past continuous is often used with the following words and phrases. At that moment, at 1 or 2 o'clock, etc. Also, it can be used with the words while and when. When one action in the past happens in the middle of another, we use the past simple and the past continuous together, using the words while or when. As we can see, the phone rang while I was watching a DVD. While here is used between the two actions in the past. There was an action which was in progress, which is I was watching a DVD. And then there is another action which interrupted the first one, which is the phone rang. We use while in between the two actions. The first one will be in the past simple and the second one following to while will be in the past progressive or the past continuous. We do not use the past continuous for regular or repeated actions in the past. As we said, we use the past simple. So it's not correct to say that last year I was going to the cinema every weekend. No, you have to say I used to go to the cinema every weekend. Now let's move to the third form of the past forms, which is the past perfect. The past perfect is formed by using had plus the past participle or the third form of the main verb. For example, I had written. The negative can be done by adding the word not to the word had to form the word hadn't plus the past participle of the main verb. In the questions, we start the helping verb had at the beginning of the sentence. For regular verbs, we add the ending ed or d or ied. For irregular verbs, we take the past participle form or the third column in the back page at your course books. The use of the past perfect. The past perfect can mainly be used to express actions and states before a moment in the past. I had finished my homework a few minutes before the lesson started. Mrs. Cross had been a teacher for 20 years before she became a head teacher. Useful ones for the past perfect. The past perfect is often used with the following words and phrases. By. I had finished my homework by 8 o'clock. By the time. By the time I got to class, the lesson had started. Before. The teacher had checked the answers before the lesson. After. I left after I had finished the test. Just. Salman had just finished the test when the bell rang. Already. The concert had already started when we arrived. Whether we use the past simple or the past perfect can change the meaning of a sentence. The lesson started when I arrived. I arrived and the lesson started. The lesson had started when I arrived. The lesson started and then I arrived. What happened first? When Kevin arrived to school, the class had already started. When he turned on the TV, the program had already started. When Paul got home, he realized he had left the door open. After my son had gone to bed, I watched a movie. Time expressions. By the time Doris got to the party, everyone had gone home. After. I arrived after the teacher had called the roll. Before. She had seen the movie before she went to bed. When. I went to bed when I had finished my homework. Time expressions. Use after, as soon as, until, before using the past perfect simple. For example, after she had moved out, I found her notes. I didn't say anything until she had finished talking. As soon as I had finished my homework, I went to bed. Use before when by the time before the past simple. Before I knew it, she had run out the door. By the time he phoned her, she had turned off her cell phone. She had left when I got home. Now let's move to the fourth and the final part of the past forms, the past perfect continuous or the past perfect progressive. The structure of the past perfect continuous is as follows. We use the helping verb plus the helping verb plus the main verb. The first helping verb will be the word had, and the second helping verb will be been plus the main verb, and then we will add to the main verb ing. Some examples of the past perfect continuous. I had been swimming when I fell. You had been waiting for ages. We hadn't been paying attention. It hadn't been raining when I fell. Had you been swimming when you broke your leg? Had it been raining? The ground is wet. We use the past perfect continuous for duration before something in the past. How long had you been studying English before you moved to Victoria? I hadn't been studying English for long. I'd not been studying for very long. The second use of the past perfect continuous is to express the cause of something in the past. For example, Jason was tired because he had been jogging. Sam gained weight because he had been eating too much. Ben failed the final test because he hadn't been studying.